The following podcast contains spoilers for Last Flag Flying. You have been warned.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of KFR News Radio. This is your host, Glenjamin Button, along with your host, Miguel Mecusto. So many breaths.
Arrivederci. Arrivederci. How you doing, Glenn?
You know, the flag's still flying, you know. Still living that life, you know.
Living that Glenjamin Button life.
That Glenjamin Button
aging backwards
prime
and shit.
time life.
So
always looking like Brad Pitt.
I know for a fact that you just got out of watching Sonic. Other than Sonic, did you watch anything else this past week?
I broke my already weekly challenge, which was supposed to be seeing a James Bond movie every week. I broke it and I didn't watch shit other than Sonic.
How was Sonic?
It was very all right.
I mean, that's better than what everyone thought it was going to be after that first trailer. So
yeah, I mean, the CGI looks fantastic. Like the re-rendering that they did on the character is significantly better than what it was.
Yeah, definitely.
But ultimately, it didn't save it too much from being just an okay movie.
I mean, it's a cash grab. They're not trying to make like an amazing film. They're just trying to make nostalgia for people to
get ready for a sequel. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, it's probably going to get enough money for a sequel. So
I do always feel bad for James Marsden whenever he's in like these type of movies because he kind of deserves a little better than that.
Yeah. I'm curious if he's like actually just trying to do fun things or if people aren't hiring from other things. Because I agree, he does deserve better. If he's choosing to do these things, good on him. Yeah. I mean, he's choosing regardless, but like, if he has other options and is choosing these over the options, good on him. Otherwise, poor guy.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
But other than that, I did not see anything. I'm sure you've got something in your back pocket, though.
Yeah, I only saw a few movies. With the Oscars this past week and everything, I kind of slowed down watching new movies. Kind of hopefully pick that back up starting this week. Mm-hmm. But there's two movies I want to discuss. I know you saw one of them. The American Friend, which is a Wim Wenders movie starring Bruno Ganz and Dennis Hopper. It's a German film from the 70s.
Yes, that's the one that I've saw.
No, that's not the one that you saw. That one was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. But then the one that I know you saw, Birds of Prey, or The Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Oh, did I see that before or after our podcast?
After.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, I've seen Sonic and Birds of Prey.
Yeah, there we go.
My memory's so poop.
And while it is a step up from Suicide Squad, it is just okay. Like,
yeah, it's better than I expected it to be. Expected it to be, but, you know, it's still just not much.
Yeah, I thought, honestly, it was really promising the first, 30, 45 minutes. And then it just, for me personally, it took a nosedive and just became so boring. Yeah. It just became like another action movie after that, where the first 30, 45 minutes were legitimately creative and fun and their own thing. And then it just became like every other DC superhero movie after that. But if they had just made the entire thing about her getting revenge for a lost egg sandwich, would have been a better movie overall. But no, they had to, as DC always does, had to make things too serious and, too...
That they do.
Yeah. And the little girl in it was terrible. Oh my God, she was bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
it didn't seem like she was really acting more than just probably playing herself, if anything.
Yeah, probably. But
I did love Ewan, though.
Ewan was good.
Although it was super anticlimactic.
Absolutely.
For his character.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, this thing that was never mentioned before. Great, cool, wonderful.
I was like, well, there we go.
Yeah. It just seemed like someone with ADHD wrote the script. And
yeah,
was just like, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. It was fine. But the first, honestly, like, people should go see it for the first 30, 45 minutes alone, because that is legitimately a great sequence. The opening act, really. But yeah, that's all I saw last week. Let's hop into some news, shall we?
Oh, boy.
Not on the agenda that I just remembered while I was talking. Let's talk about Parasite winning Best Picture at the 92nd Academy Awards, or 93rd. It's one of those two numbers. It has been on for a long time, and Parasite won the most recent Best Picture award.
As it deserved.
As it deserved. It's probably the first time in a long time that the movie that deserved to win Best Picture won Best Picture.
Because for a while there, you and me both were like, oh yeah, Jojo Rabbit needs to win. And like, I think both of us, not even talking about it the night before, were like, you know what? Parasite might be the one
Parasite,
that should win.
Definitely. I rewatched Parasite, and I was just like, you know what? I love Jojo Rabbit, but you can't compare them because they're two completely different movies.
Yeah.
But since they were both nominated for Best Picture, you kind of have to compare them. Parasite is a more complete film, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's more of a masterpiece. Absolute.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also the first foreign language film to win Best Picture at the Academy Awards.
Also well-deserved.
Well-deserved. There's been a lot of people that are upset about that because it's a foreign language film. Like,
which, come on.
Those people can shut the fuck up because... Like, honestly, most of the time, foreign films are better than American films and are never acknowledged for it.
Yeah.
Like, everyone thinks that the Oscars are... Like, yes, the Oscars take place in America, but they are not just a depiction of American film. They are a depiction, or should be a depiction, of film overall.
Yeah.
If they want to claim themselves as the head honcho of film awards, they must include the entire world's cinema.
Yeah.
And... no one can take them seriously. I mean, even before he's obviously super excited that he won 4 Oscars. But
he's the cheeriest bastard in the world.
Oh yeah, he absolutely is, and he's proud that he won them. But even before the Oscars happened, Bong Joon-ho was just like, yeah, it's not an international competition. So while these are being nominated, Parasite's being nominated, it's great, but it's not like a representation of the entire world.
Yeah,
and that is 100% accurate. And I couldn't be happier. I've been sharing pictures of Bong Joon-ho pretty much all week, probably getting on everyone's nerves. I love fact that he won. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Next we can talk about, I think you'll be excited for this. I'm sure you already heard about this, but Rick Moranis returning after, I believe, 24 years, a little hiatus / retirement, and he's going to star in a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids sequel / reboot. You know, he left the industry 24 years ago after his wife died to take care of his kids.
Yep, to be a parent, which is awesome.
To be a parent, which is a very, honestly, like, great on him for doing that. Yeah, and he walked away from arguably like millions of dollars to make sure his sons had a parent at home.
Yeah,
maybe daughter. I don't know if he had a daughter too. I know he has sons.
His family, just period.
But they're obviously grown. He's going to return to. It's called Shrunk. It's a sequel / reboot where he reprises his role as Henry Selinsky. I can never pronounce that name. I don't even know if it's Henry. Either way, Wayne Selinsky. Oh my God, I don't know where I got Henry from. Wayne Selinsky, and his son is going to be played by Josh Gad.
Oh wow,
which is a great casting for this kind of movie. And I'm stoked on it. I'm okay with it. I know it's a cash grab, but the fact that they got Rick Moranis out of it kind of makes it feel a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how I feel about another Honey, I Shrunk the Kids sequel / or reboot, any of that, because there's like 8 of them, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
but as long as Rick Moranis is coming back, that's all that really matters.
The fact that they talked him out of a retirement, even if it's just for this one movie, the fact that they talked him out of retirement shows that they actually kind of care about making a decent movie.
Yeah.
And it could all fall apart. Who knows? We don't know enough about it at the moment to know if it's going to be good or not. But Rick Moranis is going to grace our screens once again.
After 20 long years.
After 20 long years. But yeah, that's you had a little piece of news, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Oh, my lord.
Stupid little slut. I mean,
every day's the same for me, I guess. Same description.
I don't know what came out of me. I don't know.
Well, we were talking about Birds of Prey there for a minute, and DC still has some little tricks up their sleeve. Matt Reeves decided he wanted to show us the first look of Robert Pattinson in The Batman.
Yeah.
If you remember a little bit ago, we did a Good Time because I recommended that after the news broke out that Robert Pattinson was going to be Batman, and I was fully on board. And so the clip came out, and my God, I'll admit, I'm stoked. I was already stoked, but my fires are flaming. You know what I'm saying? The good little Glenn Slut's coming back. Here he is.
I thought he looked great at it. I love the costume design. I'm sure they're going to make a few tweaks.
It looks like an Injustice suit, which is pretty cool. I'm sure you obviously don't know too much about the Injustice.
I'll take your word on that.
But it's... I don't think it'll be in that universe, but it looks really cool. If they even do anything with Injustice, then that'd be dope. But I'm not expecting that. Just know he looks awesome, and I know he's going to be awesome. And check out the clip because it's a lot of red and a lot of Robert Pattinson's tiny lips.
And Matt Reeves is a great director too. I from what I've heard, the cast is going to be pretty good too. I don't have on the top of my head anyone that's going to be in it, but I have never questioned it. I think they said Colin Farrell's going to play the Penguin, unless that was just speculation.
There's going to be a lot of people in it, but I feel like they're more or less going to be cameos than anything.
Yeah, and I think they're all going to be great. I mean, it seems like they're taking this seriously. It doesn't seem like they're just hiring people who are hot right now. So no Owen Wilson and Zoolander. Sorry, that was a bad reference.
Hot.
He's so hot right now.
He's so hot right now.
But yeah, I'm excited for this. Of all superheroes, Batman's by far my favorite. I'm not gonna say sit here and say I'm a huge Batman fan. Yeah, but when I was a kid, that was probably the only one that I legitimately followed and cared about. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Am I seeing a little bit of nerd in you, Mike?
And I mean, my nerd is 100% with A24. So yeah.
But yeah, that is my news. Quick little reveal of the Batman.
That's some good. This is a good news week for film. So I guess nothing's left to discuss except for Last Flag Flying.
You know what amazes me about you?
Well, it could be anything. I'm a pretty amazing guy.
You turn the keys to your bar over to the guy who's asleep on your pool table, and then you jump in your car and you drive me to hell and gone, and you don't even know where we're going.
Ask the question, am I willing to surrender to God?
What the hell happened to Mueller the Mauler? First-class drinker, gambler.
I see we have some visitors amongst us here today.
We were in the service together with your pastor.
I haven't seen these men in decades. They represent a dark period in my life.
That went down awfully quick.
Drinking for two now that you got all old and boring.
Shine down a light on me.
Because of my son, I came here, found you guys. A year ago, we joined the Corps, and then 2 days ago, they told me that he'd been killed. He's gonna be buried in Arlington, and I was wondering if you guys could come with me.
I've come to you in search of some.
They sent him off to a godforsaken desert. Why? I'm taking Larry home.
With all due respect, sir, he deserves to lie at Arlington.
You're gonna take Doc back and try to make it fun.
You're cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Did you look at these faces? They've already been spited.
Written by Daryl Penickson and Richard Linklater, directed by Richard Linklater, and starring Bryan Cranston, Lawrence Fishburne, and Steve Carell. Last Flag Flying takes place 30 years after they served together in Vietnam. A former Navy corpsman, Larry Doc Shepard, reunites with his old buddies, former Marines Sal Nealon and Reverend Richard Mueller, to bury his son, a young Marine killed in the Iraq War. This is one of those movies that always popped up anytime I was looking for another movie. It's got a solid cast with Bryan Cranston, Lawrence Fishburne, Steve Carell, all that. And the story seemed intriguing. I don't want to say it's looked amazing, but it was definitely intriguing, to say the least. And I just wanted to throw it out there. Give it a watch. No better reason to watch a movie than to talk about it on a podcast. So.
Yeah, it was one of those movies that you literally, whenever you got on Amazon Prime or even just logged into your Amazon Fire Stick or anything like that, it was like, boom, Last Flag Flying.
Yeah.
Check it out. And I will admit I'm not a huge military movie type of guy.
Me neither.
And just looking at the cover of it is Steve Carell holding a flag with two older gentlemen behind them. And I was like, okay, really think I could care less for this movie.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a movie kind of curated for an older crowd.
Yeah.
Again, not saying that in a negative way, but it seemed like
it seemed like it had a target audience.
I think people our age are a little more cynical to, for lack of a better phrase, ultra patriotism, and the poster looks like that's what it would be. Where it's just, unadulterated, unquestioned patriotism. But it surprised me that the majority of the movie they spent complaining, like honoring veterans, which is absolutely something that should be done, but then also pointing out how messed up the government is regarding war, especially Vietnam and the current war, which unfortunately, even though this takes place in 2003, still going on. In Iraq. Well, I think it's just Afghanistan now, but we've been over there for far too long, and I think it does a good job at teetering on the edge of being like anti this war, but also kind of understanding that it's out of people like us and them's control.
Yeah, I went into it really not expecting much at all. I was expecting not to like it because it just looked like a buddy military film, and I won't beat around the bush. I'm not a pro-military guy, but I'm also not opposed to it. But I wasn't interested in seeing it in a movie, but I was completely surprised how good it actually was.
Yeah.
Because obviously not only the synopsis, not the synopsis, but the summary of the movie, it's actually a really good film, and just like three dudes kind of like getting back together after 30 years and like they face this hardship when they were serving time, and then like you're figuring it all out as they're trying to like redeem themselves of it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And all while the one man's trying to just bury his son with his wife and all the struggles that the government's trying to get, like, we need to bury him with his corpsman. God damn it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was super struggle, and it was something nice to see that in like a military type film that even the people who served in the military are kind of like, you know what, man, the government is killing me right now.
Yeah, literally. I really liked the self-reflection of it, which I was not expecting. I thought it was going to be straightforward. This kid's son died, them reminiscing, but it was really them focusing on their flaws, not only after Vietnam, but while they were in Vietnam, and also discussed the morality of the government lying to parents of fallen soldiers, of kind of talking up how they actually died or how they died versus how they actually died, and making it seem more heroic than it actually was. Like, for instance, the Doc, played by Steve Carell, his son was shot in the back of the head while just trying to buy some soda, and the government told him that he like went out in a blaze of glory and died with his rifle in his arms,
saved his fellow corpsmen and stuff like that.
And it follows the whole morality of that. Like, is it really better to go out or like have parents think that their kids went out that way, or is it better to know the actual truth behind it? Which it's still something I struggle with. Like, the entire time I was on their side, where I was just like, yeah, I mean, if my son died, I'd want to know how he died, even if it wasn't quite heroic. Like, I'd want to know the exact way and he died. And then they're faced with the mother of the one of their friends when they were in Vietnam, and they're going to tell her that he actually died like a very painful death and everything, and then at the last second just decide not to, because it's in that instance I think it's a gray area. Like, for Steve Carell, his son, I would rather know the real way he died, just because.
Especially since he had served before.
Yeah, but he also died instantly too. Whereas the guy that they served with in Vietnam, he had a very excruciating, painful death, and that's not going to help anyone. To know that. And so I really like the morality struggle of it. Speaking of morality, I don't know if you caught on to this, but Steve Carell, like the characters, like Bryan Cranston is like the devil on the shoulder, where Lawrence Fishburne's like the angel on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Where like literally they're giving him their conflicting advice while standing next to him. I thought that was a little ham-fisted, but I think it worked. Like it was really obvious, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah,
too,
it wasn't terribly cheesy, but yeah, pretty much. I mean, the one dude's a priest, so
yeah, the one dude's a priest, and the other guy's like this
a bar owner,
an atheist bar owner. But it still worked. You know, it wasn't like groundbreaking. It wasn't amazing, but it was just a solid film, and I really enjoyed it. And honestly, like parts of it had me laughing more than I've laughed in like some comedies, like when they're reminiscing on their Vietnam War days.
Yeah, and that's the like the huge kind of theme of this movie that I really do like enjoy about most of the military actually is like the brotherhood that's created in it.
Yeah.
And as these guys, when these guys first see up with each other, they're all like, "Oh God, no, I got away from you for a reason, damn it."
Yeah.
And they're their own person, and then they all get together and like they slowly grow back into the people that they were and create this brotherhood again. And it was really cool to see.
Yeah.
Over like not even a week span.
Yeah, and for better or worse, Lawrence Fishburne's character kind of regresses back to how he was in the army. Not like with debauchery and everything, just like in the cursing and the way he spoke.
Just becoming a human being again.
Yeah, becoming a human being instead of like this soulless reverend who was trying to just put his past behind him. I used the word soulless lightly there. Not like he wasn't actually soulless. He was just
not as a bad term.
Yeah, he was just hiding from his past when he should have been confronting it head on.
Yeah.
And I thought it was lovely. Like again, it's not a film that is gonna really blow you away. It's just a solid way to spend 2 hours watching like this brotherhood that is coming back. And I felt like everyone gave a great performance. And yeah, again, it's not a comedy, but there are parts of it that had me laughing a lot more than other films.
Yeah, it's especially funny when you realize like it's time period that is like 2003. So like, when they're listening to the radio and Eminem comes on, and they're like, "Does it bother you that you're a black man listening to this type of music?" He's like, "Nah, this dude's white."
Yeah, this dude's white.
It's so
like,
funny.
No.
He's like,
and
"No."
Talking about cell phones like they're some kind of future,
like the most revolutionary thing.
Yeah, the funniest thing, the part that had me dying is when they're talking about like the brothels in Vietnam. And Bryan Cranston, his character being like the partying kind, is just talking about how. To paraphrase what he said, his dick used to salute him, and now it just droops down and helps him with his socks.
Used to watch him shave and everything.
Yeah, used to watch him shave, and now it watches him put on his socks. And then Steve Carell, I don't know if this was scripted or just improvised, but Steve Carell loses it. And if it's acting, he does a great job at acting like he's losing his shit. And like it just makes you laugh with them. Like I was
it
laughing
doesn't
the
help
whole
that
time.
he says he's just imagining Bryan Cranston's like penis picking up his socks with him.
Yeah,
which is just hilarious.
It really balances like the sad and the high parts of life. With the death of this guy's son, and then just reminiscing on old times. So yeah, I thought it was a really solid movie though.
Yeah, it was 1,000 times better than I expected. And yeah. I will gladly watch anything with Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, same here.
Like all these three guys, yes, but like Bryan Cranston, he really brought some to this one.
Yeah, he's great.
I thought we were going to a funeral.
We are going to a funeral. Just looks like it's going to take a little longer to get there.
What you gonna do? Strap the coffin to the roof of your car?
We could do that.
Old man, look.
The thing that made Larry different from the rest of us, he had a happy childhood.
He said that?
Yes, sir.
If there's 1 minute that's not too terrible, I'd like to try to enjoy it.
His Holiness can hardly walk, let alone handle a big rig with a hydraulic lift.
This is a rental with an automatic transmission.
You guys ready for an adventure? Let's go.
Old man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you. I need
What do you smell? Urine. I love it. It's like the official scent of the city.
things that come into your head and out of your mouth.
You worry too much. That's why your hair went so gray.
Could you resist a man in this uniform?
I don't think I could.
You're there for your brothers. Yeah, that's all that really matters.
Get out of the way.
Okay, you want to play? Let's play.
Hey, move! Hey, you trying to get me killed? I will bury your ass.
Mueller has arrived.
So, it is time for the judgment. Will Last Flag Flying, directed by Richard Linklater, become a shelf boy? Will it be a boy on the shelf? Or will it fall and just turn to dust like other films that we have had fall and turn to dust? For me, since I picked this movie, I'll go first. I am really torn about it because it was pretty solid, but not amazing. It's a movie that I'm glad I watched it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but it was a solid way to spend 2 hours. It went by a lot faster than I thought it was going to. It was well paced and everything, but it just doesn't have that extra push to make it like over the edge. I don't know what they could have done to do that. I think the movie is fine the way it is, and I don't think it could be better given the story. So I think this is just one of those movies that, like, it's a solid movie, but it will not be a shelf boy.
Ooh, man. I was actually going to make it a shelf boy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think the only reason I would, like, kind of want to not make it a shelf boy, like, I enjoyed it. I actually did enjoy it. I'd probably watch it again, because I'm not really into military movies at all, and, like, obviously this isn't true military. This is post-military, but...
Yeah.
Like, I think the chemistry was solid enough and the story was solid enough. I would have made it a shelf boy. I think the only cheesy part that made me, like, not want to is at the end when he gets that note. Like, everything falls into place in this letter Steve Carell gets about his from his son saying bury him with his mom and his blues, and that's what they did anyway before he even got the letter.
I will say, though, I'm glad that they found that, like, he made the right decisions without seeing that note rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
I feel like it really showed that he did know his son.
Yeah.
And didn't need that kind of note, but it was just kind of like I agree, it was a little cheesy, but it was the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
And it's not, completely unbelievable. That kind of stuff happens. But yeah, unfortunately with me, I don't think it'll be a shelf boy.
Tisk, tisk.
Tisk, tisk. Wow. However, we are 10 episodes away from episode 50, so maybe we'll revisit some films and discuss. We can discuss this later, but for now, Last Flag Flying is not a shelf boy.
All right.
So I guess...
There it be.
Buried
just like Steve
signed,
Carell's son,
delivered.
Ooh, there's both good ones right there.
So that brings us to plugs. My plug for this week is a trailer that came out. I know Glenn has already seen this. A24 released a trailer on Thursday for David Lowery, his new movie. David Lowery directed Old Man and the Gun, Ain't the Body Saints, Pete's Dragon, A Ghost Story, and now his latest film, The Green Knight, starring Dev Patel, Alicia Vikander, and Joel Edgerton.
Tell me a tale of yourself, so that I might know thee. I have none to tell.
Yet. You have none to tell yet.
I fear I'm not meant for greatness. We all fear. But fear can be a gift.
Do not waste this.
And holy smoking boking shitballs, man.
Yeah, I know Mike's excited for this because he sent me a picture of his wet underwear.
Yeah.
That's all. He didn't send me the trailer. He just sent me a picture of wet underwear and said,
I sent you the
go.
trailer and said, make sure you're not wearing pants when you watch this one. The cinematography in this is just phenomenal. So, yeah, definitely check out the trailer for The Green Knight because, boy, howdy.
Boy, howdy. It does look really good.
If you can, watch it without pants, because you might soil them.
It like boosts the whole experience.
It does. What's your plug?
All right, so my plug is, I had to like go back and think. I'm like, what would be a good one to just toss in here? I don't know if I've ever sent this to you or not, but my plug is on YouTube, and it is called a video called "Why Snowpiercer is a Sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory."
One of my favorite filmmakers is the South Korean director Bong Joon-ho. I remember seeing his film The Host when it came out in theaters when I was like 16, and it blew my mind. His stuff is really dark and quirky, and he didn't really break out in the US in a huge way until Snowpiercer came out. I really, really like Snowpiercer, but one interesting thing about it was that it reminded me of my favorite movie of all time.
I'm sure you might have seen this before.
I have seen it.
But I just watched it the other day again. I'm like, I can't get over this at all. Like, how actually intriguing it would be if it was.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's my they pretty much go in details about like how like Willy Wonka, like Charlie got the chocolate factory, and then he had to create a speed train to sustain the world and stuff like that. And it's like, just stop blowing my mind. I can only take so much.
Now, I simultaneously love and hate those things, because while I think that they're clever and entertaining and do make some good points, I just hate it when people try to find like a connection between everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's a joke video for the most part.
Yeah, definitely. But like, there's some people who like actually take them seriously.
Yeah.
And I know the people who make them more than likely don't.
Yeah.
If they do, it's usually pretty obvious, and they're usually not good because of that. But I do enjoy this one. I remember liking it. It does have a lot of eerie combinations. But
reading
like,
these comments is hilarious.
Y'all need to let Bong Joon-ho be the original genius that he is, and not say that he's making sequels to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Why The Purge is a pre-sequel to Cats the Musical.
See,
why is Real Steel a sequel to Saving Private Ryan?
I do like those ones, but some people take them too seriously, and I'd rather they just enjoy the joke.
Yeah, obviously it's a joke video, but watch it with a little bit of an open mind to have your mind blown a little bit too hard. Yeah. It'll knock your socks off, even
honestly,
if you weren't wearing them.
You could do that with any two movies if you really tried.
Yeah, you could.
But admittedly, Snowpiercer and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is a little bit tighter than the rest.
Yeah.
So those are our plugs for this week. We got the Green Knight trailer and the why Snowpiercer is a sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Both are available on YouTube. You can just search in those. And I guess that's going to bring us to what our film assignment is for next week, young Glenjamin.
Yes, sir. So I was kind of in the mood for a Jack Nicholson movie here.
Ooh.
I looked on Letterboxd. I didn't see that you saw this one, so I know I didn't. It is As Good as It Gets.
Oh, okay. I have not seen this one.
With Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt and Greg Kinnear.
Open his curtains for him so he can see God's beautiful work. And he'll know that even things like this happen for the best.
Where do they teach you to talk like this? In some Panama City sailor want a hump bar? Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
TriStar Pictures invites you to meet a truly appalling individual.
He's a freak show. He's the worst person I ever met.
Help! If you want to see me, you will make an appointment.
Dr. Green, how can you diagnose someone as an obsessive-compulsive disorder and then act as though I had some choice about barging in? You have messed your last floor.
Have you seen my dog with a little face?
Uh-oh.
You have no idea what your work means to me.
How do you write women so well?
I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability.
Melvin, wait!
Shut up, kids! Definitely a package you don't want to open or touch.
Directed by James L. Brooks, written by Mark Andrus, and the screenplay is also by Mark Andrus. A single mother and waitress, a misanthropic, is that the word? Is that how you say that? Coatesville boy here. Artist and a gay artist form an unlikely friendship after the artist is assaulted in a robbery. As good as it gets.
Misanthropic is the correct pronunciation.
Hell yeah, I'm so fucking smart. I went to college for never. Because
you separated it and questioned yourself afterwards, I did have to question if it was misanthropic.
All right, so yeah, As Good as It Gets, Jack Nicholson movie, 1997. That is going to be the pick for next week, and it is on Netflix.
Netflix sponsor us.
It is also apparently on Vudu and Crackle, but I don't know who the hell has those apps. So
I have Vudu, but you usually have to pay.
Yeah, so if you got those, it's not just on Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix sponsors, please.
Most of the movies we recommend can be rented for money. We try to get you the free version if possible, but pretty much anything we mentioned can be rented on iTunes,
Absolutely.
Amazon, whatever.
Or just at your local thrift store somewhere, probably.
But we do just try to get the free ones. So that is our pick for next week, As Good as It Gets, with Jack Nicholson and other people who you mentioned that I will not name now because I cannot remember them.
Helen Hunt.
Helen Hunt. As always, you can visit our website, www.keystonefilmreview.com. On Instagram, we are Keystone_film_review. On Twitter, we are Keystone_film. On Facebook, we are Keystone Film Review. On Letterboxd, I am Mike KFR.
And I am Glenn KFR.
And once you follow us in all those little Johns there, we're going to watch As Good as It Gets, and we'll talk to you next week.
Only once you do that. We're not going to watch it until, though.
Yeah, we're holding next week's hostage until you subscribe to things.
We're watching.
Netflix sponsor us and people listen to us, please.
Please.
Goodbye.
Bye.